So tonight we have the final stop for NXT ahead of Wrestlemania, as it is NXT Roadblock 2023. And one of the main aspects of tonight's show will be Shawn Michaels appearing on the Grayson Waller effect. And it has been rumored that Grayson Waller's opponent for WrestleMania weekend, specifically NXT Stand and Deliver, will be announced tonight on NXT Roadblock, and it is likely to be WWE signing Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee has been rumored to be appearing in WWE for the last couple of weeks and has had problems appearing in WWE thus far, or his debut has been delayed thus far because of visa issues and him getting up to America. But now he is rumored to be appearing this week and likely will be Grayson Waller's opponent for WrestleMania weekend and NXT Stand and Deliver. Also tonight, Andre Chase and Joe Gacy will take on one another in one-on-one action. Also, Tony D'Angelo and Dijak fight in a jailhouse street fight. It is the first time ever for that matchup. I don't know what type of matchup it's going to be, but what we do know is going to be a knockdown, drag-em-out brawl between two of the hardest-hitting members of the NXT roster. Also tonight, Roxanne Perez defends her NXT Women's Championship against women's wrestling legend Meiko Satomura. It will be an incredible matchup between two of the top women in professional wrestling today, in Meiko Satomura and Roxanne Perez, for the NXT Women's Championship. This is, of course, your preview for NXT Roadblock, the final stop before NXT Stand and Deliver on April 1st, and your final stop as far as premium live events or branded specials before WrestleMania. Also, on tonight's event, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, the former Toxic Attraction, will collide for the very first time in what will be, I'm sure, a very heated, emotionally charged battle tonight. And I would say it is very much likely that this is not the beginning of the end. It is the start of things between JC Jane and Gigi Dolan, as we will likely see another match between these two women at Stand and Deliver less than a month from now on pay-per-view. Of course, the event would not be completed without having NXT World Champion Bron Breakker a part of the event in some form or fashion, and that is exactly what we're going to have, as Bron Breakker teams with the Creed brothers to continue both members' long-standing rivalry with Indus Sher, as the Creed brothers have been going back and forth with Veer and Sangha for the last couple of months, and for the last couple of weeks, since Vengeance Day specifically. Bron Breakker has been kept busy with the modern-day Maharaja, as Bron's eyes are about to be focused on WrestleMania weekend. Bron's eyes are about to be focused on Carmelo Hayes and his next title defense coming up on April 1st at Stand and Deliver against the one man that Bron Breakker has yet to defeat. The one man that Bron Breakker has yet to defeat, and that is Carmelo Hayes. It is set, in my opinion, this is going to be a great, it's going to be a great event, and it's going to live up to expectations, because the fact of the matter is, tonight's show It's meant to be a roadblock, and that is exactly what it's going to be tonight on the USA Network when NXT has their final stop before WrestleMania weekend. I also think that this show tonight will give you an indication of who will likely be called up through the draft after WrestleMania, as I think Tony D'Angelo could get called up. I think Braun Breaker could get called up. I think the Creed brothers could get called up. I think it is very likely a number of stars could get called up in the draft from NXT, especially with the possibility now of talent moving between NXT and the main roster, with Jinder Mahal being the last in a long list of talent that have made the jump down to NXT. It's something that could go both ways, with talent going one way or the other. But like I said, I think Gigi Dolan and JC Jane are not going to end their feud tonight. It's going to be the start and the continuation of their feud tonight, with likely the ending of their feud or even more of a continuation of their feud happening at Stand and Deliver over WrestleMania weekend. It would be hard for me to believe that it's a one-shot deal between two former tag team champions and two people that were leading the charge as far as NXT is concerned last year. As far as Andre Chase and Joe Gacy, it is two people that have bright futures ahead of themselves as members of NXT and WWE, and filling up the card and helping fluctuate things. But also, Roxanne Perez will prove herself worthy tonight against Miko Satomura in what is her second title defense as NXT Women's Champion. I'm surprised that Wes Lee is not in action tonight. I kind of figured that Wes Lee would be in action tonight, defending his North American Championship, but we know, if there's one thing that we know, it is that NXT is known for smaller cards to allow the matches to have breathing room. So that is exactly what we see tonight, with two women's matches and the rest are filled in with men's matches. But like I said, I think the Jailhouse Street Fight will be something that occupies a lot of time because of the type of match that it is. But I also think that Roxanne Perez and Miko Satomura, as well as the Toxic Attraction heated fight, the match plagued with raw emotion between Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, those three matches will be the highlights of tonight's event. And also, being able to sit here and say that Dragon Lee is officially a part of WWE will be something that we want to write home about, because it's something that everyone is looking forward to, especially seeing Grayson Waller and Dragon Lee and NXT Stand and Deliver. We've talked about WrestleMania, we've talked about WrestleMania weekend over the last couple of weeks, but we have not really talked about Stand and Deliver, and tonight at NXT Roadblock, it will give an indication or a bigger picture of what we can expect in less than a month on April the 1st at NXT Stand and Deliver. Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, and maybe, just maybe, Grayson Waller against Dragon Lee, as well as another match between Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, is likely to take place at WrestleMania weekend. But tonight, if you're looking for wrestling, NXT Roadblock tonight on USA Network, don't miss it.